You could drive for 30 miles in the Kaingaroa forest and wonder if there's anything left on Earth besides trees. That's the view. Radiata pines, each standing 100 feet tall, and tidy grid lines that extend as far as the eye can see. The forest is as vast as it is dense, tree upon tree, row upon row, mile upon mile. The sameness is broken by only two things. First, the road carving through the shadowy landscape, and then the radiata shoots, popping up sporadically and defiantly. These smaller wilding pines look like the Christmas trees of my childhood, joyful, but a bit pathetic, each with just a few sparse branches, enough only for a single string of tinsel that will never quite hide the exposed trunk. Although Kaingaroa is man-made, it's the second largest timber plantation in the southern hemisphere. It is easy to feel isolated there. It's a forest that has been known to swallow up hunters and hikers who get lost amongst the pines. Damp mists are common, and light struggles to break through, especially after the sun dips behind the green peaks of the distant Te Uruera mountain ranges. Needles and cones collect on the forest floor, and they're as thick with the scent of resin and pine. But an hour into the journey, just as you become certain you've reached the middle of nowhere, there is a break in the trees, and signs of human life return. A rundown forestry building with a rusted sign, a timber motel with small, neat rooms, then, around the corner, a service station with 3 petrol pumps that marks the entry to a town called Murupara. As a young girl, I made that trip through the forest countless times. Today, when I close my eyes, I can still take myself there. The long, solitary stretch of tar seal, the grey mass of the ranges, rough trunks piercing the sky. The first time I visited Murupara, I was 4 years old and unwell with the flu in the back seat of my family's beige 1979 Toyota Corona. In those days, I was also prone to car sickness, which was almost certainly made worse by my corduroy booster seat, little more than a wedge of dense foam covered in fabric. It gave me height, but it also exaggerated every turn in the road. Next to me sat my sister Louise, just 18 months older than me. She was also in a booster, and queasy, but not so much that she would stop asking questions of my parents. How much longer? Why can't we stop? What if I need the toilet? We each held our stuffed bears, which, uncannily, we resembled. Mine, with a round, friendly face, a squat body, and short limbs, was simply called Teddy. My sister's bear, Cookie, was almost twice the length of mine, with a lean body and long legs. The windows were rolled down just enough that I could hang my fingers over the top and wiggle them in the open air. Beneath my dangling feet were the items that my mum made sure accompanied us on every long car trip. An old towel and an empty half-gallon plastic ice cream container, in case we needed to throw up. She never threw anything away, and even this container would likely be repurposed to store home-baked blueberry muffins. Between me and Louise, trapped inside a cardboard box with small holes at the top, sat the most uncomfortable passenger of all, our grey rescue cat, Norm. The sedative from the vet was wearing off as he pressed his face up against the top of the box, whiskers protruding through the holes. It was moving day. We had left behind friends and family in the city of Hamilton, more than 2 hours to the northwest, because my dad had a new job as a police sergeant in Murupara, a place I'd never seen. Dad had grown up in a large family in Te Aroha, a farming community in the shadow of mountains along the Waiho River. Like every region in New Zealand, Te Aroha was first settled by Māori, who'd navigated their way from Polynesia in waka, canoes, using stars, ocean swells, and sea life as their guide. Māori tribes had lived on this land for hundreds of years. Legend had it that the great chief Kahu climbed to the peak of a mountain to orient himself and was so moved to see his home from this vantage point that he named it Te Muri, Aroha o Kahu, Te Aroha Tai, Te Aroha Uta, meaning the love of Kahu for those on the coast and those on the land. Now it's known simply as Mount Te Aroha, the Mountain of Love.